Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Call of Cthulhu. My name is Jack. As always, I'm your host. I'm your Keeper of Arcane Secrets. I think it's actually just called Keeper of Secrets, but I like Keeper of Arcane Secrets more. It fucks more,
Hell
you
yeah.
know? I think
It's got more
it's a
flair
better
to
title.
it.
It does have more flair. Anyways, as always, I'm joined by the irrevocable Eric, the splendid Graydon, the magnificent Jared, and Peter.
I was wondering what adjective am I gonna get?
Yeah. I also have Matt joining us, but he's going to be here a bit later, as per usual. No Evan tonight, but he got enough time in the spotlight 2 weeks ago. So before we jump into this, let's recap what happened last time. You guys were thrown in a dungeon. Rebecca Schosenberg came and berated you for being idiots, and then was like, all right, I'll trust you this one time, and then helped spring you. Rather than follow the group, Evan's new character, Theo, decided to stay back and wreak some havoc, whereby he escaped from prison, climbed up a ventilation shaft, climbed back into the ventilation shaft, climbed out of the ventilation shaft, put a car in neutral and crashed it into a village, climbed back into the ventilation shaft, broke into the castle, killed Lawrence, tried to kill someone else, and then promptly died himself, which is where we left off. All the while, you guys were in a car getting the fuck out of Dodge. So that's where we come to tonight. You are all in your rented vehicle, making your way somewhere. I don't know where. So as you drive into the night, where are you all going?
Well, I assume we want to go back to London.
We might want to stay low at my house for a little bit.
But I assume they know our identities. I feel like they're likely to search there.
Well, do we want them to find the tied-up cult member that I have in the insane room?
I think the damage is done. I don't know if it can get much worse.
Well,
What?
okay, correct me if I'm wrong. It was my understanding that technically my character and a few others were released by them, so we're not being hunted.
Yes,
Well-
but then one thing, and they're by association.
Well, yeah, but there wasn't really an association. Like, we ran into that guy.
No, me.
Yeah.
Oh, you.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Clyde
but
Clyde was not released. Clyde was going to be put on trial.
Oh, well.
And you don't know what happened
Yeah.
with Theo. You guys have no clue what happened after you left.
Not that any of us would really care.
Yeah, like, in all honesty, I didn't even know Theo, really. I don't...
It's not Theo's death that I'm talking about so
It's
much
gonna,
as
Theo's actions are gonna have some rippling effects, I'm sure.
I like to think Arthur lost a finger or a toe as well from frostbite or whatever he did that Theo did. So he used like a cold spell, right?
something like that. Yeah.
So yeah, in my head, hit the head cannon. He's lost a toe, one toe, and he's he's equally upset about that one toe as he is about his own son.
Interesting headcanon.
Well, I still
All
think
up there.
I don't think hiding in the city is going to be much help.
So you think we should lay low for a little bit?
Is there laying low for escaped fugitives?
I kind of agree with Pip on this one. I think we need to get away as soon as possible before the whole situation gets potentially worse. I don't know. I don't know how England works with the law, but it hasn't treated us nicely so far.
Well,
I agree. We check in on the person you have kidnapped, make our way out of the country to Egypt.
but when did we plan we were going to Egypt?
Well, that's where all the crates we found at the bottom of the venue foundations that were headed.
What's
Well, then-
Egypt?
Weren't we planning on investigating some other areas?
But I think that might be out the door.
Well, Clyde, you might have wanted to think about that before you shot someone's rich
Okay.
daughter in the head.
Hey, they killed Norman.
That aside, Richard, you weren't even there when we made our initial plans. You don't you don't even know what you're saying right now. Our plan was to go to Egypt after London.
We got 3 leads. We got Egypt, Shanghai, China, or Australia.
Well, I still need to stop by and warn Cloud of the possible situation. I'm not just gonna leave him to the fate. It's also my residence. I did nothing wrong.
You say as you sit beside a fugitive.
I did not break him out of jail.
You kind of did though, collectively. But we need to decide then if we're gonna stay at Richard, lay low for a little bit, and try to escape then, or beeline it right now.
Don't think we should lay low necessarily, but stopping off for a night?
Well, here's
Couple
the thing
hours?
that could happen. I don't know what all of you plan to do after this whole investigation, but I actually have to come back here and live my life and continue doing my research. So unfortunately, I can't just escape and as a fugitive and hope for the best. So my thoughts are this. Hear me out. No one knows my association with what has happened. As far as they're concerned, as far as I'm concerned, I was let out. I could meet you guys down in Egypt. But after I make sure that I'm not gonna come back to my house being taken away and all my stuff.
Oh, you know, of all the things we've seen, and you're still worried about your stuff.
Well, yes, considering again, after we're done all of this, I can't just go around saying, "Hey, everyone, I took down the Black Pharaoh."
Dark Pharaoh, alright.
Aren't you rich? You can just buy new things. You can start a profession elsewhere.
I don't know if you know how criminals work, but they usually confiscate everything, including your money. But if I run and I try to escape the country, now I definitely look guilty. And Pip's a child. They won't do anything to Pip.
Yeah.
The only one here that's concerned about you is you two concerned about yourselves. I believe.
Ourselves. You're concerned about you and your stuff.
Only concerned about ourselves.
Concerned about everyone climbing, not going to.
We're having a conversation, Richard. Why are you getting aggressive? There's absolutely no need for this.
Reason to kill this young lady.
I know it's late, and I know we're all stressed out, but we're a team. We need to come together. I can agree to going to Richard's for one night, but I don't think we should stay there longer than that.
I agree.
Reminder that it is quite late at night at this point, so by the time you get back to Richards, it's going to be very early in the morning.
Awesome.
Or very late at night. It's all perspective.
I guess so.
That's why we keep Pip around.
Keeps things into perspective.
Very, very early afternoon as well.
Well, just skip morning, early afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, well, I say we drive through the night then.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like you guys are abandoning any other investigations in Derbyshire that you wanted to do, making your way back to Richard's house, taking a day, and then going on to somewhere else potentially.
That's the plan, I think.
Okay.
In the meantime, maybe Pip can be filled in on what's going on in the main
Welcome to
story.
the family, Pip.
We just abducted a child.
That's what I was saying.
Another
I think,
crime.
like, in a way, this is kind of kidnapping.
Yeah.
Consensual kidnapping.
Yeah. It's a gray zone.
Who's gonna report it?
Foster family, in a way.
Sure.
I guess, yeah.
I don't know if that. Yeah. Whatever you want, Pip.
All right.
I said Pip could live at my house going forward.
If you have a house anymore.
Yeah, because fucking people ruining lives, Clyde.
Reputation of this reputable doctor.
What do you have to say to Norman who lost his life?
That aside, we're on a
Again?
mission. We set out to do something, and god damn it, we're gonna do it. Regardless of the cost.
I like how you're so defensive of Norm, but you let Leon's death just go in
Who?
vain. You're just like,
They're gonna avenge Leon's death.
we
Leon
could have
was-
killed those men.
Norman's dead, Leon's dead. Those two pieces of our history are in the past. I'm looking forward at the road in front of me.
All right. So we're gonna cut here and jump straight to early morning. You guys finally, after a long night's travel, pull into Richard's driveway. In the driveway is still Richard's banged up motorcycle, as well as a suspiciously bloody car that does not belong to Richard, with a very dirty and bloody shovel leaning up against it, which you assume is what Claude used to bury the bodies of the cultist that Richard killed earlier in the week.
I get rid of that.
Yeah, you're
I'm gonna
right.
get Claude to get rid.
You wouldn't want your reputation ruined by anything as heinous as a murder.
That's funny.
So you all get out very tired and make your way into the mansion. It's still very early. Claude has not even awoken yet, and you are free to go to your respective rooms and do whatever you want. But if you wish to sleep, we can cut to the afternoon, or you can do whatever you want while you're here at your safe house.
I'm gonna go check on my cultist that I caught.
I fell asleep in the car.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm just sleeping in the car.
I want to go with Richard. I want to see what's going on.
Your dragon claws might come in hand.
Fucking rest is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna hang out with Pip in the car for a bit.
Sounds good. So, Richard, you make your way upstairs to the padded room that you keep on hand, where you have
Thing to keep
cult-
on hand.
Yeah, it's just a normal thing. And there, bound in a straitjacket, is the man who you beat within an inch of his life several days ago.
Perfect.
That's how you get places haunted. It's like, come on,
Oh,
Richard.
I'm sure of all the experiments I've done, there's more things that are gonna haunt this house than than that guy.
This is fucking Bly Manor right here.
All right. I'm going to get him set up and be like, Ruth, I don't think you've met my cultist that I found skulking around our nice estate.
Now, to be fair, you did fail the psychoanalysis roll that I made for you during that session you missed. So you don't know he's a cultist. It was a slip of my tongue when I first introduced these guys. So you, as like metagame knowledge, know that they're cultists, but like you just know him as a guy who was skulking around your property, and you killed his friend and captured him.
Well, now I oh.
Why do you have this random man locked up?
Well, he came onto my property and tried to kill us. I drove him down and killed his friend and dragged him here. You just watched your
Why?
friends execute a young girl, and you're surprised that I hunted down someone who tried to kill me.
Richard, were you not just talking about how you don't want your reputation ruined? And rather than calling the police, you go out and hunt men you see on your property?
Yes.
All right. It's your private property. What do you plan to do with this man?
Well, I was going to try to investigate a little bit more if you want to join me.
You know what? I don't think I do. I don't know. I don't want to see whatever goes on in this area of the house. I've heard you mention things and they scare me, Richard.
Oh, Ruth, it's merely I was going to see if we could get him to talk. I wasn't going to do anything harmful to him. Don't worry.
Richard, would you like to interrogate this man?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to need a intimidation and a psychology or psychoanalysis roll from you.
All right, well, I'm going to do intimidation first. I have good intimidation. That is a hard success on intimidation.
Perfect.
And then psychology. Ooh. Psychology is a. Oh, I got a 26. That's another hard success.
Ruth, are you staying to watch this?
No, I'm leaving. I don't want to see this.
It's best that you don't, because Richard knows his way around torturing
Yeah.
human beings.
I was gonna say that like Pip has woken up and is sneaking up and like Pip's gonna sneakily watch.
Oh my God, Pip.
Sanity roll.
Pip, make a stealth check.
I have it at 20%. Sorry, I don't have.
Oh, right.
Still.
Right. 29.
So that's fail, right?
That's a fail. You could spend 9 luck points to succeed.
Well, Eric, don't worry about it. I'm just gonna ignore that Pip's there and just continue.
Jesus Christ, you guys! I'm starting to wonder who the good guys are in this scenario.
I'm
It's
good.
like,
I fail. I knock something over.
Richard, you
Or
hear
make the
behind you
door
as the door like slightly creaks open.
I'm gonna quickly glance over and be like, it's nothing. It's probably just the ghosts that haunt these lands.
Jesus Christ! So, over the next hour or so, Richard, you use your incredible years of experience and knowledge of psychology and what I would now classify as psychological warfare. You can tell from your investigation of this man that he's loony. He's basically completely insane and unhinged. But from your investigations, you do manage to find out that he was sent to monitor you by Edward Gavigan.
Oh.
Mr. Gavigan. Okay, where's my cultist torture notes? Where's she? Perfect. All right.
In the meantime, would anyone like to do anything? That's the
Pip's
only
been
useful
sitting there,
information. Yeah,
stone
you get.
faced, no reaction. Just
Is Claude up?
Claude is almost up.
who's Claude?
Claude is Richard's manservant.
He's a family friend who happens to work for me as like.
He's his butler, basically.
Yeah.
Butler
It's
slash
like-
soldier
It's
slash
probably a
driver.
better word for it than manservant. That kind of caught me off.
Hey,
What do you think the pattern?
Pip, what's your sanity score?
Uh-oh.
53.
It's not bad.
You take 1 point of sanity damage from watching
Good shit.
Richard torture this man, basically.
That's honestly less than I thought I was gonna get from all that.
I rolled and you did well.
Because I want to get Claude up. We need to clean up that vehicle because I'm going to try to bring this guy to the mental institution.
During
Alright.
that one sanity loss, that was just me vomiting in my mouth a little bit and swallowing it back down.
Pip is
So,
hard.
Saw his
Very-
parents burning alive here.
I mean, it's just like, fuck, man.
very early in the morning, but at this point it is, kind of getting fresh out. I was about to say that Claude is getting up and making some coffee to go and cut the grass with a scythe, but it's early February, so probably not doing a lot of lawn maintenance in England in early February. But Claude is nonetheless up and beginning to prepare breakfast.
I'm gonna run into the kitchen quickly.
Oh,
Claude,
Richard, good to see you.
Claude, I don't want to bug you too much. I appreciate you making breakfast. We kind of need to get rid of this bloodied car that's sitting outside my house. We might have some potential conflicts coming our way, and I feel like we don't need to be arrested.
Well, I'll take care of that. You see, Claude goes over to the sink and reaches into the cabinet underneath and pulls out a Molotov cocktail and begins leaving the kitchen.
Thank you,
Got
Claude.
that under the fucking sink. All right.
And then Claude, we need to prep the. Is the car able to do anything? Is it been somewhat fixed?
We're still a few days away from getting it back from the mechanics, I think.
Okay, I am going to. I have a phone. I'd have a phone.
Yeah, you would have a
Okay.
phone.
I'm going to call the mental institution and talk to some of my friends and colleagues that work there and see if we can get that poor man into an asylum. I feel like his mind after trying to analyze him, his mind is just too gone.
Oh, right. Makes sense.
The origin story for the Doctor from Dead by Daylight.
It kind of is. I'm going to go to a discreet location and, as he points to the Molotov, take care of that car out front. Yeah.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Claude.
Some of you hear the engine of the car turn on from your respective rooms as Claude drives the bloody car to a discreet location to presumably burn it.
Nice.
And Pip, I hope you was that you by my lab?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I appreciate your curiosity, but if you need to talk about anything you might have seen, I'm here for you.
What were you doing?
I was investigating that gentleman. He had attacked us on my land, and they had tried to kill me in a car chase. I happened to take them down first.
It was torture, Pip. Clyde says as he's beat up and just hanging out in the kitchen.
Maybe
Claude,
teach
Claude-
me.
yes, Pip, I would love to take someone under my wing.
I know how to sweep chimneys, and that's about it.
Well, Pip, as I've said before, you're more than welcome to stay here in my home. We're always happy to grow the family a little bit more.
Nice.
Oh, fuck.
Now,
Clyde,
Pip, up until now, the nicest building you've ever seen has been Plum Castle, which is very nice and very opulent, but it's very old as well. This is a modern mansion with modern plumbing and modern electricity, modern electrical appliances. Probably the nicest place you've ever seen in a lot of ways.
I'm imagining Lady Domitresque's castle.
Yeah, that works.
Clyde, I did manage to get some information from our friend there that I have in the padded room. It turns out that Edward Gavigan sent him to spy on us, him and his colleague there.
That's not good. It's not great.
Who's Gavigan?
Well, Pip, you know how we've been talking about these cult people. He happens to be a part of this cult.
What's a cult?
A group of people with
The bad
some
guys.
extreme views. Bad guys. Bad
Oh.
guys.
Oh,
But the good news is, Clyde, is before I even I may have gotten a little bit of information out of him, but from the very beginning, his mind was already somewhat entangled. He's kind of gone a little bit mad prior, and I think that's why it was so hard to get information out of him originally. So I managed to get just a little bit of information out of him before I've decided I'm going to turn him into some of my colleagues at the asylum to see if they can help him.
You're gonna call people here.
No, we're going to take him to my colleagues.
We.
Oh, me and Cloud, not you.
I don't have time for a side mission right now.
Pip's gonna join us, and Pip wants to learn from me, so I'm gonna get him to follow me around.
Yeah.
You better do that young mind well, Richard.
Oh, don't worry. I won't. We'll teach him and make him grow up good.
Witnessing a villain origin story.
Wait,
That
then you were
boy
there when I
is
said that it was
rotten
Edward.
beat Lex Luthor.
Then you heard me say it was Edward Gavigan's spy, right? Yeah. See, I told you, Ruth. They couldn't have just been some random person that stuck around my area, especially after we broke into Edward Gavigan's.
So how do you feel about making that sizable donation to the Penhew Foundation?
Well, the foundation itself, I still believe, is good. People need to learn about history. Unfortunately, the man in charge of it isn't too great, but that's a later problem. If we take down the cult, he's essentially rendered useless.
Okay, well, I think we need to discuss our next steps then at this point.
Well, would you like me to arrange travel for us to Egypt?
Yes?
Yeah, that would work.
I thought, based on our conversation in the truck, that you were going to potentially stay, Richard?
Well,
Is
I might.
town in England.
No, Pip. It's a country all on its own,
What?
Off the ocean.
across the ocean.
Oh,
Don't worry, Pip. I got you covered. Easy.
oh,
And without chimneys, but
oh.
But when we go and drop off this fine gentleman here that I'm going to take into the asylum, we will drop by and get tickets. Depending on the reception in town, and if we run into any trouble, I might get Cloud to give you guys tickets first, and I will jump in later after I've dealt with the situation.
are you gonna take the truck in?
No, we're gonna take my. Well, I guess we'd have to. I might.
It's to be returned anyway.
Yes, we might as well take the truck in. I'll do it. Don't worry about that.
Alrighty. Mighty kind of you, Richard.
I would like to give the asylum a call, Jack, and let them know I have a person for them.
Okay. You phone up your friends in the field of
Okay.
mental health in England. Some people in London, and they're more than happy to take this poor confused man off your hands.
Okay, perfect, easy. And then when Cloud gets back, we'll go do that and then buy plane tickets and return the vehicle.
Boat tickets.
Boat tickets, right? Boat tickets,
Yeah.
and then return the vehicle.
Once we buy the tickets, do you guys think we should maybe give Mr. Gavigan a visit? One last thing to do before we book passage out of the country?
I think it might be wise for me not to go visit Mr. Gavigan, considering that I killed one of his minions and am now bringing his other minion to a psychological hospital.
So what are you afraid of? You've already
Well-
We have to
insulted them.
fight the bad men.
It's not so much I'm afraid of them, it's more that we now have we possibly have police on our tail, and it could work in his favor. I feel like this Gavigan isn't a dumb person.
If he's watching us, we're clearly on the right path. I just think before we leave the country, I would like to at least look into it a little bit further.
Well, how about I go deal with the body, or the person, and get the boat tickets. Why don't you and Clyde go and visit Mr. Gavigan? Seeing as he had me followed and not you, it might be a little bit better.
As a note, it is now Sunday, February 8th. You know that the Penhew Foundation is closed on Saturdays and Sundays.
Out of curiosity, how long did the whole like werewolf thing take place? Because seemingly it was just like what, 5 days or something, 4 days?
I can tell you the exact number of days if I consult my notes.
You know, for me,
Also-
with that being the entirety of what I've experienced so far, that to me was like a whole month. But it's like, oh wait, no, yeah, that's just like
Well, you would have been experiencing it since before you even joined the campaign, technically, because
that's true.
Because Eloise's first victims were several months ago.
Yeah, and that would have been the talk of the town.
It certainly would have been.
What was he not? I have a quick question, Jack. How long would the boat ride take? Because I'm just looking at my major wound and everything.
I can tell you. I can tell you the exact time it will take. I just have to consult my notes first. I believe
sure.
you guys. I believe the party got to the small village of Lesser Adale on Thursday, so it's been about 3 days.
Fuck.
Yep.
Yep. You guys first went to Derbyshire and tried to investigate Henson Manufacturing on February 4th, which was, I believe, the Wednesday, and then you slept overnight, and then went to Lesser Adale the following day on February 5th, which was the Thursday. It's now February 8th, the Sunday.
Okay.
Yeah.
God, life comes at you fast when you're an adventurer
Mm-hmm.
or an investigator.
Matt, since you were listening to all of that, do you have anything to add to the current plans in place?
You know, I was trying to conspire upon some funnies that I could do, but I think let's just say that I went to my guest room in the Richard Mansion. I don't know Richard's last name, so it's just the Richard Mansion.
Mason.
And the Mason Mansion. The
Yeah.
Mason Mansion. And I basically just sat with my head in my hands for the entire time that everything was going on because I don't have anything I'd like to do. And I also kind of think that the only thing I would want to do after all that we just experienced is lay in a bed and cry, probably. So
That's fair. That's fair.
I'm embarrassed to admit this, Jack. I actually looked this up, but I couldn't get a straight answer. I forgot to upgrade my skills last session, although I said
Yes.
I would. And can you just remind me what dice I roll if I succeed on a roll? For this?
Yeah. So if you succeed, do you remember how you succeed? You have to roll above what your current.
I have to
skill is.
roll above my stat,
Yeah.
and
And
when I
then-
looked it up, it said 1d3, but I don't think no. That's actually the case.
That's incorrect. That might be in the regular rules, but at least in this book, it's 1d10.
Yeah.
No, I'm pretty sure investigator development
1d10,
phase is
okay,
always
perfect.
1d10. Always.
Did we level up
Yeah,
last night?
well,
You did, yes.
Oh, okay. So I need to roll for. Well, it's 1d10.
Oh, that's right. I'm sorry you didn't. You also you lost some sanity points. You lose
did.
2 sanity points because you got one of the bad endings for that scenario.
Right, yeah.
doesn't that
Forcibly.
haunt you? Don't those words just drive you crazy? Like you got the bad ending.
It's not our fault.
Well,
I mean, I
it's
know,
some of
but
our
it's certainly not
faults,
my fault.
but,
Why would you-
I don't-
It's Clyde's fault.
I don't-
It's 2 of 7's fault.
I think at
Technically
this
2 of
point,
6, because Jack
Clyde,
can't.
Clyde only has like 20 sanity points left at this point, so he's like, whatever. Fuck it. If I'm going crazy, I'm going crazy in
I got
style.
32.
I
you
respect
go.
that. I respect that.
What I
Oh,
I
dude,
checked
you have
the
less
book.
sanity than me. That's crazy. I thought I was winning that competition for sure.
Yeah. So I'm going to go to the washroom real quick while these two level up. Talk amongst yourselves for the next 2 minutes.
Thanks,
You
teacher.
guys, I don't remember exactly when this happened, but I'm a little bit better at fighting brawl than I was before. So motherfucking put her up.
For one
My
spar.
thought was like, why have you been playing Smash Bros. Brawl? That's what the
I've been
Subspace
playing a little
Emissary,
bit, and my skill went up.
Peter, I saw you played a bit yesterday before you joined. Have you beaten Outriders campaign?
No, I just played it a little bit, and that was it. Just like
All right.
progressed through like one of the individual arenas, and that's it.
I haven't played at all. We should try and just crush the rest of that
I'd like
out.
to actually beat the
Yes,
game at some point.
please. Please.
We've got to be like so close, like at the end game, pretty
It
much.
feels like it.
Like we're world tier 15 now, I believe.
Max, yeah.
Level 30.
Give us the end.
Yeah,
Everyone
it's like,
describe to me how leveling up works again. You roll your D100, and if you beat your score,
Yeah,
then you
roll
level up.
D100. You have to roll above your stat, and then you roll a D10 to see how many points you level up by.
Correct. Yeah.
I just fucked myself, dude. I like rolled and one dice fell off the table, but the other one was a 70, and I would have improved my stat, but I was like, no, I gotta play by the rules. Rolled again, rolled a fucking 10.
You're a better man than me.
Yeah, well, yeah. So I guess I'm not a good listener. Well, rather, I'm not any better of a listener than I
Like,
was
the
before.
teacher's gone right now. Oh, the teacher's back.
Well, I mean, like, there's a lot of agency by having our own character sheets. Like Peter was like, the teacher's gone. Like, I did a roll where my dice fell off the table, and I would have loved to have taken it, but I re-rolled and rolled a 10, and I was like, fuck, honesty does not pay. And and Peter's like, well, the teacher's gone. It's like, if I really
Peter.
wanted to,
I mean,
literally
he
the
saw
2
it.
weeks
It
since our
rolled on
last
the
session, I
ground, but
could've
it's still a roll in my eyes.
like Jack actually has to put a lot of trust in us as players to not completely lie. Like, I remember one time I had an extreme success that I feel like to an outside perspective would have been really sus, and Jack was like, oh, okay. But he just has to trust. Like, it's not like we have to like show our webcams every time, or like, send him all of my stats so he knows I didn't go through and erase all of them and put 90 in their place. It's
the
a lot
thought
of
of like,
trust.
why would you lie? It's
Yeah,
like,
that's exactly it.
it's like,
yeah.
it's just for
It-
funsies. It's
it's-
not like you're gonna get your
Yeah.
dick cut off if you actually lose or something. Like, you just
Well, I'm hurt
something funny
emotionally for a
probably
long
happens.
time.
It's like the same reason I've never enjoyed like turning on cheats in games, because like, well, what's the point if like
Yeah.
When I was younger, like in Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, it was fun to go on like rampages with a tank
Yeah.
or whatever. But that was
Yeah.
like, that's different.
Yeah.
When you like activate it to go through the campaign easier,
Dude.
it's like maybe on the 15th playthrough and you're like, fuck it, I'm having fun. But
Mhm.
like the first time is like, come on, chill out.
I did that for all the Fallout games where I'd play them. I played them all through once or a couple times without them, and then I just started adding mods in like crazy and cheats and shit.
yeah.
That's the regular way to play any
Mhm.
Bethesda game, I think.
Yep.
For sure. Excellent. Okay, so while they're doing their
put on so
leveling up,
many cheats on- sorry, never.
what's the game plan? Richard is going into town to take his patient, drop off the truck, and anything else? Is anyone else doing anything?
In a desperate attempt to try and find another copy of the book I was reading, I'm just going to tear through his library. Or not tear through, but look
If
through.
you tear through my library, I'm coming up there and beating you.
Oh my god.
I'll
where's
explore my
library?
presumable
Where's
new
library?
Okay.
home.
Clyde's gonna be in
I'm
the
gonna
padded
drink
room.
a warm cup of tea.
Okay.
Ooh.
Do you know if
Sounds good.
Do you know if phone books are a thing in the 20s in England?
That's a good question.
That's a good question.
Please do not call Edward Gavigan on my phone and then tell him where you're going.
You don't just come.
This is Rupert's house.
Phone books would have been they started February 1878.
Damn.
Huh.
At least that's the first like instance of something that you would call a telephone directory. This is nothing but a sheet of cardboard with the names of both private people and businesses who had a telephone.
So I want to look up our boy,
You guys,
Mr. Gavigan.
I gotta say, my RNG lately has been fucking outrageous. Like, and I don't just mean like my insane dice rolls. Like last session, I rolled like numerous extreme successes in a roll, but like I was playing Pokemon Showdown lately or yesterday, and I would have completely lost a battle, but I exclusively won through like winning 50% rolls and 10% rolls, and like I'm like rolling like 1 or 2 points over my current stat, and I'm just able to upgrade all of them.
That's
I'm
why I like
clutching the
gambling
fuck out
right
right now.
there.
Oh, here you go. On the Wikipedia page, the first British telephone directory was published 15th January 1880.
And
Let's go.
Not long
there you
after
go.
the first like real phone book.
Yeah, that's
I wouldn't say
crazy.
cardboard with numbers written on it is a phone book, but
I mean,
that's
yeah,
just
you
what
could-
Google came up with instantly.
but well, here's the thing. Phone books exist, but from what I'm reading, they would have been like more business directories and like people who have telephones. It's not like people. One thing that the book mentioned, the Masks of Nyarlathotep book mentioned, it's hard to find information out about people because people are very private at this point. It's not like you can't like
There's
just
no yellow
find
pages.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
not like you can find information easily about people.
Yeah.
That's what I kind of assumed. It seemed too easy.
That's why murder was so easy.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So you could probably find like the phone number for the Penhew Foundation, and you probably have to talk to an operator anyways, since it's 1925. Everything is going to be routed through an operator who will connect the lines.
How can
for
I
you.
help you,
So-
detective?
Yeah, exactly.
Putting you through now.
But if Richard does have a phone book, which let's say sure he does, you probably can't find like Edward Gavigan's personal home phone number.
That'd be awfully convenient.
I'm coming, bitch.
What's your address? I'll be there shortly.
How'd your kids? How'd your wife?
Yo, the playground, 3:00. Meet me there, bitch.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll say that you guys are taking the day to go into London. Clyde's staying at the mansion. Pip says he's staying at the mansion.
Unless Richard wants me to come. Richard, do you want me to come with you?
Well, Pip, I'd rather not, just because if I get in trouble, I don't want you to like get in trouble with me.
All right, I'm happy to explore. I'm a little boy. That's all I want to do. That's all I want to do right now, too.
You're sure you want to go alone, Richard?
Well, it was my idea, and I don't want to get you guys in trouble in case I do run into trouble.
Big roof.
You really think
She'll
you're the
help.
sauce of all the trouble, Richard? Do you see what we've been getting up to lately? You were sitting in a bar having a drink while Clyde was shooting a regal vampire in the face. Werewolf.
Ruth
Damn.
can beat up your enemies.
It's up to you,
We're
Ruth,
friends.
but there's no pressure to come with me.
If Ruth's coming, I'm coming, but it's not because I want to hang out with Ruth. It's because I want to hang out with Richard.
Then I'm not going then.
Foiled again.
No, I'm not gonna go. I'll let Richard. This is his area. He doesn't need to bring some random person along.
All right, Cloud and I will go, and if anything, keep the doors locked. If you see anything happening outside, just
What
stay in a safe
if
spot.
the police were to arrive? How do you want us to handle that, Richard? Do we run? Do we fight?
Not fight. Whatever you do
well,
for the
I
love
thought-
of all that is holy, do not fight.
Based on what I've seen, anytime a stranger has come onto the property, fighting seemed to be the preferred option. So
Well, in that circumstance, a little bit different. I would never attack a police officer who comes onto my yard. You know, and second thought, I'm gonna get Cloud to stay here with you because I don't trust you guys not to start something.
That's why I just wanted to cover our bases. I want to make sure we're all on the same page.
I will go completely alone into town, take this guy to the asylum, buy our tickets, and come back.
I was gonna say, like, the idea of, like, in real life, me leaving my house with, like, a group of people just at my house with no supervision is fucking insane. I would never even try to do that.
You know what? Fair. Very fair.
All right.
Ah,
I just want to like keep an eye out then, just to see if anyone approaches the house. I'm not
Okay.
getting caught off guard.
all right.
I'm gonna come back to Ruth every once in a while and show her something I found.
Hell yeah.
Right. Just to recap, everyone except Richard is staying at the house? Is that what I'm to
Yes.
believe? Okay.
Wow. This is a big change of pace from when Richard literally wouldn't let us go back to the house like a week ago.
Times have changed.
I had things to worry about, such as a man. I'd rather control the situation with the person who's been locked in my house than get caught off guard and try to explain the situation.
All right. So, easy enough for you to head into town. In the afternoon, you drop off your patient at the asylum, where you do some work. Richard, you return the automobile to the uh, with fucking someone's sons or whatever. I forget what the exact name was of the Whitfield and Sons are the people who you rented it from. You're charged. It's only been a couple days. You're charged £7 for the rental.
Okay. That's within my spending limit, so that's fine.
Excellent. Now, as you leave the building, are you doing anything else in town? You're
I
going
should
to buy tickets.
Yeah, I was gonna go buy boat tickets to Egypt. See, now I'm hesitant to buy. I was gonna buy everyone first class tickets, but last time I did something nice for everyone, they said, "Fuck you, we're not helping pay any money back." And after out of the Jesse Hughes fund, so I'm thinking about getting everyone except for Pip a first class or a coach like a bottom class ticket, and just get Pip and me a first class ticket.
You know, two wrongs don't make a right, Richard.
Fucking Pip gets to go on a first class flight before I do. What the fuck is?
I don't know if Pip's brain can handle much more luxury. Like this
Yeah.
is a lot.
Yeah.
Pip's staying in a lot in 3 days.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go see how much everything costs, and then I'll make my decision.
Okay.
This was a random thought that just completely separate from the game. Jack, did you know the Dungeons and Dragons game is coming to Game Pass?
Dark Alliance or whatever it's called.
Yeah, the new one that they're kind of excited
Baldur's
for.
Gate.
There's Baldur's Gate.
There's
No.
it's
Dark-
one where
Dark
it's
Alliance-
specifically called like I think it's Dark
Yeah.
Alliance. Like
It's
Dungeons and
Dark
Dragons.
Alliance. The Dark Alliance games exist within the Baldur's Gate universe.
There
It
you
was
go.
something where it's specifically like their titling is like this is Dungeons and Dragons video game.
It is Dark Alliance,
Yeah.
I think.
It is
Yep.
Dark Alliance, yeah.
That sounds right.
I believe they're continuing on from the other two that they had released on PlayStation.
Just a random side note that I was like, oh yeah, I remember seeing that today. Wanna point that out in case anyone ever wanted to play that.
I really don't know anything about it, to be honest. But
If it's
don't
anything
either,
like the original two that I played, they were super fun.
there you go.
What's the
Hell
gameplay
yeah.
supposed to be like?
It's like a third person, like a
XCOM?
slit.
Probably like Dragon Age Inquisition.
Not like Dragon Age Inquisition-ish kind of game style.
Yeah. So there you go. Yeah, sorry, I'm just pulling up my sheets for what travel costs are.
Yeah, for sure.
Looking at gameplay, I don't see any dice being rolled.
It's based in the universe, Peter. You're not rolling dice.
I want my weapons to be dice.
Damn.
That'd be kind of
The
that'd be a
next-
cool game if like a game where you roll dice and
It's like
Oh.
fucking Mr. Game & Watch, the fucking randomized power attack.
Baldur's Gate 3 reroll dice for it, Eric.
Game of the year.
Wait,
Baldur's
what?
Gate,
Part D.
Baldur's Gate 3, you roll dice.
Okay.
Yeah.
Technically, you
is
do
true.
that in Knights of the Old Republic. It's a
Mhm.
D20 system.
Yeah.
Fucking thing is around here somewhere.
I think the first Dragon Age
Ah,
works on a D20
there we
system
are.
as well.
So, assuming you leave from the Southampton port of England, it takes between 4 to 12 days to get to Egypt. I will roll randomly to determine how long the actual trip will take.
I'm hoping it's at least a week so I can get my, or hopefully recover from my major wound.
Same.
Major wounds suck. I don't plan to get one.
I'm surprised I didn't get one when I fell. When you were
How does
boosting
healing-
me into the Lawrence house.
How does
Actually, the book has an exact figure for what it will be, depending on how long it takes. So I will randomly determine the length now. I won't tell you how long it is, but I will tell you
price?
what the price will be. This is just for first class, and then I'll do one for second class and steerage as well.
Sounds good. I'm gonna put fucking Clyde in steerage. No reaction.
He's used to it.
Giggled. What does that mean?
Okay. So, first class ticket to Cairo will cost you 360 American dollars per ticket,
Okay.
which means
Fucking scam.
a second class ticket will be 180. And then 108 for back of the line for steerage.
Yes, math is not so nice.
Yeah, I'll do I'll do first class for everyone. Because
First class
320 you
for everyone.
said? 320
Dude.
for per ticket?
What a huge flex.
360 per ticket.
360. So I owe $1,800.
You need like a business manager, Richard.
$1,800 American.
Yep.
In
Working
British
me to,
pounds,
like,
British pounds, that's 360 British pounds.
I figured out how much money exactly Pip has now after everyone just like started throwing shit at him that first session. I have like 21 bucks, so it's like good
Nice.
things there, it's
Yeah.
Barry.
Yeah.
Pip feels rich, I'm sure.
So
He went from having
Oh.
50 cents to 21 bucks in 3 days. So that like in 19 whatever, that's a lot.
it wouldn't matter in pounds, right? Because all my money is in American dollars anyways.
Yeah, it's. I'm assuming most people are recording their money in American dollars, but you've been using pounds since you've been in England, or I've been doing pounds and doing the conversion, just in my head or on paper or whatever. So whatever's easiest for your bookkeeping, and I will make a note of that as well for the
Yeah, I
Jesse
did it.
Hughes Fund.
I got it all.
Assuming we're going to
Sure.
use money from the Jesse Hughes Fund to recuperate Richard's costs.
We don't know that yet.
Pip doesn't know what the Jesse Hughes Fund is.
I'm covering
He doesn't know
covering
what
Pip
money really either.
for sure.
I was just curious, so I had to look it up. Richard just spent $27,000 on us in real world, like in currency.
No, I didn't.
All of us to go. If
With
it was
inflation
current,
and all that.
Oh, I see. Okay.
you pull up us to go first class. It's $27,000.
Well, let's just
Holy
say I
shit.
have pretty close to the Jesse Hughes fund in money, like my own money.
You want to be reimbursed, you rich bastard? You're always
Who's,
looking.
who's in your will? Like, where's that money going?
Not
to?
not
It
any
is
of
now.
you.
It's,
It's
mean,
Claude.
it's gonna be.
It's Claude and Pip.
Okay. I might have to.
You guys like fucking slapped. First off, you didn't reimburse me for anything, so you fucking slapped me there. And then, like, when yeah, no.
Richard's kind of just like a little whiny little bitch at times, though. I don't like. He doesn't make me want me. I don't want to reimburse him.
He's a whiny little bitch.
Yeah, he's talking about
So-
his reputation.
Richard, as you leave the ticket office, you hear from behind you. Excuse me, could I have a word?
I'm gonna turn around and look at who it is.
It's a very tall, slender man dressed in
Slenderman.
a very tall and somewhat tall, slender man dressed in a pretty nice suit, pencil mustache, kind of graying hair, sort of balding on the top. And he kind of looks at you. Fine day to you, sir.
Fine day to you as well.
You're Richard Mason, I assume.
Yes, and may I ask who's asking?
Of course. He pulls out a wallet and flips open to show a badge. My name is James Barrington of Scotland Yard.
Ah,
I understand you and some colleagues of yours recently had some trouble in Derbyshire, if I'm not mistaken.
yes, I can't say it was the best situation in the world. I was very sad at some of the outcomes. How may I be of assistance?
Well, I was wondering if you would be willing to answer a few questions for me, in fact.
Sure, I have time to answer your questions.
Before you left Derbyshire, what was the status of some of your compatriots? I understand some of them were arrested for supposed murder in connection with Eloise Vane.
Well, it is a complicated thing, but I believe my compatriots. I had two of them that were arrested. The rest of us were let go. You see, it was detective. I honestly couldn't tell you it in a way that you would believe me on most of the stuff. But it was not as white and black as it may have been made out to be.
To be quite frank, I'm not on the case. I was just informed by some colleagues north of London that unfortunately both of the prisoners escaped and are believed to have been involved in the death of Lawrence Vane, who was found this morning, or rather found by his father.
Lawrence is dead, but we talked to. He was the one that let us out, right? Was that? Am I correct in that? He was the one that let us out.
He cleared your name.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, basically.
Lawrence had given us clearance. It wasn't. When did this happen?
This morning, I'm afraid one of the men, who was part of your retinue, escaped his cell, caused some commotion in the village, evaded capture, and killed Lawrence in the early hours of the morning, before being shot dead by Lord Arthur Vane. Terrible business.
May I ask which one?
He didn't
Of
have
my-
any identification on him.
May I ask? Would he look? Was he an American?
I believe he was thought to be an American. He was a very gaunt, pale man. Quite oddly, there were signs of a struggle and frost in the room at the time. It seems to you, Richard, that he's describing Theo in appearance.
Okay. You must have been talking about Theo. I hate to be quite honest with you, detective. I know you're not on the case or anything. Besides that one excursion with Lawrence, we didn't really know Theo. I ran into him at a bar in Derbyshire. He kind of just followed us around. He was quite a troublesome lad. I can tell you this much. And obviously, based on this outcome, he was not, or based on this outcome, he was not a fan of royalty or any of the lords of the land. He seemed like someone had wronged him in the past, and he couldn't really let it go.
I see. Well,
Lawrence had asked me. His sister was ill, and Lawrence had asked me to look into it, and that is what I was doing up there. And my compatriots were up there with me investigating it as well.
interesting. Well, I shouldn't take too much of your time. Again, I'm not part of this case. I have my own matters to attend to here in London. Before you go, are you familiar with someone named Rebecca Schosenberg?
Would I have? I don't remember if I would I have met her
You have met her at this point.
at this point. Are you talking about that American reporter?
Yes, she came to me a number of days ago, asking some very interesting questions regarding some of my investigations here in London.
If you don't mind, maybe we could talk about this somewhere more comfortable. I don't know. I go grab a drink and maybe talk about this.
Oh.
I just feel like talking about it in a ticket office might not be the most,
I feel like talking about it.
the wisest thing.
I'm on patrol, so I won't drink, but I'd be more than happy to have this conversation in a public place.
Yes, I mean by all means, even if it's wherever you're most comfortable with. I just feel like inside the ticket office isn't best.
Of course. You guys kind of walk down the street to a cafe. Barrington orders some tea.
Pulls off the
I'm ordered
mask.
tea. Now,
Before we continue, unfortunately, the other prisoner seems to have escaped. You wouldn't happen to know anything about this Clyde fellow, would you?
well, Clyde seemed like a fine lad. He had lost someone up there. They all did, actually, in Derbyshire. I don't know if you had heard about that. An old gentleman, Norman, I believe his name was. But as for his current whereabouts, I'm not quite sure where he is.
I need you to make a fast talk roll.
Oh God,
Mm.
I shouldn't have lied. I was gonna tell the truth, but I shouldn't have
Should've
lied.
talked more slow, Jared.
Okay, I got a 21. My fast talk is 12. Can I push it with luck to make it a regular success?
You certainly can.
So 21. So I need nine luck points. Okay.
Is there ever a time where you can't use luck to push it?
On certain rolls, you can't. Like on sanity rolls and stuff like that. Or so there's also a mechanic called pushing rolls, where if you fail your first roll, you can take a second roll. And if you fail the second roll, then bad things happen to you. Almost no one ever does that, but that's a mechanic. So you can't use luck on your second roll if you're pushing the roll. So there are certain rules about using luck points, but for the most part, you can usually use them.
Okay.
Okay. I see. Now, back to the point at hand. This Rebecca Schosenberg, is she a friend of yours?
Well, I wouldn't call her a friend of ours, but I had run into her up in Derbyshire.
I see. You said a friend of ours. Are you still in contact with some of the other people you were in Derbyshire with?
Yes, I have a few of them with that are staying near my residence. But it was Ruth and a young lad, Pip.
What?
Oh, and a British writer. I don't Harrison Ford. I don't know if you've heard of his work or anything.
He's a Ford!
Phenomenal.
Holy shit! Let's see if James Barrington has heard of Harrison Dodge.
Oh,
Come on.
Dodge. My bad.
Come on,
Whatever.
come on.
Harrison Ford, Harrison Dodge.
Wow, one of the Fords.
Holy shit! This will be hilarious if he like knows.
And like Harrison will never know better, but I'll know better, and that's important.
That's half the
Well,
battle.
because it's always been established that Richard's been a fan of your books.
Yeah. And Richard, feel free to talk me up, pal. I'm just pulling up my complete works of Harrison Dodge, so if you need any reference material, let me know.
It can't read.
Well, I made a promise to Norman, or rather, Norman had a dying wish, and I'm obliged to uphold it, so you won't be reading any of my books, pal.
We'll see about that. We'll see about that.
I believe I've heard of some of his works. He's something of a sensationalist author from
Let's go!
Yo! Let's go!
Birmingham, if I'm not mistaken.
New Dodge
Yeah.
book dropping.
Yes, he is quite the writer. His books are quite entertaining. Good works of fiction.
So I've not read any of them, but I am familiar with him. He seems to be popular in circles who are popular with pulp fiction such as that. Yes, I shouldn't take too much of your time, but yes, back to Miss Schosenberg. She asked me some very specifics about some, I suppose, parts of my investigations here in London, as well as a gentleman who came to see me a number of months ago.
Do you mind me asking who came and saw you?
A gentleman by the name of Jackson Elias had some questions for me. Back would have been around October or November, I believe.
I believe. See, I met my friends who I told you about. I met them while I was doing a presentation over in the States, and they had mentioned a man. They know this Jackson Elias.
Interesting. Now, unfortunately, I can't divulge too much information about my investigations here in London, but I suppose I can tell you that I've been put in charge of the investigation of the so-called Egyptian murders that have been happening throughout London for the past several years at this point. And Jackson seemed to have claimed that he had some knowledge of what may be going on here in town, although I wasn't able to capitalize on too many of his leads that he gave me. Did you know the man personally?
I can't say I ever met him personally. I just have heard about him through our mutual friends there. However, I believe we've been following some of his work, which had brought us back to London. My friends also appear to be in his line of work, and being the doctor, you know I am. I'm assuming he might know a bit of my reputation.
Potentially, yeah.
I offered my help, seeing as my experience from the wars, and being a doctor, they had no one for medical purposes. I also, who doesn't like a great adventure, and they're going all over the place.
I suppose. Well,
I did have a quick question though.
of course.
Well, first off, by all means, if you have any more questions regarding your investigation, or if you need me to come make a statement about what happened in Derbyshire, I'd be more than happy to. We are going into Egypt, actually, ironically enough. Seeing as you were talking about it.
Yes, it's just a name for the murders. Most of the men who've been found dead over the past several years seem to have been of Egyptian descent.
Interesting.
I'm sure if you've been reading the paper, and since you're from England, from London, in fact, Richard, you would know that about, I think, 19 people have shown up dead in London over the past 2 years or so, killed in a similar fashion, and have all been um, immigrants or like foreign workers from Egypt.
Hmm.
So this guy is saying that he's in charge of the investigations into those murders.
Okay.
Your friend Jackson, or your friend's friend Jackson, seemed to be under the impression that these men had been killed by some sort of underground society known as the Black Pharaoh or some other such nonsense. We did investigate these leads by talking to Egyptologist here in town by the name of Edward Gavigan. And he was able to corroborate some of the information regarding the occultism and the existence of some such Egyptian deity or figure at some point. But he had also had some contact with Mr. Elias and had written him off as something of a profiteer, a sensationalist writer. So we weren't able to really glean any more information, and we're back to square one.
Have you ever thought of looking? Because it is coincidental. Would you not say that Mr. Elias went to him and came to you at the same time? Did you investigate Mr. Gavigan or the facility? Because I know he works at the Penhew Foundation, correct? That's the Edward Gavigan.
Yes, that's the man I refer to.
Ah, well, I have launched I have put forth a good amount of money donated towards the Penhew Foundation. I really enjoy history. But it just seems kind of, just to me, it seems a little bit odd that Mr. Elias, if he is from where my friends are from, would come all this way as a profiteer.
Well, surely you're not suggesting that Edward Gavigan, an upstanding member of high society, is going about bludgeoning men to death in the streets of Soho.
No, I don't believe Gavigan himself is, but if there is an organization in there, who knows how deep their fingers may go. Just a thought, just off a thought from my experience dealing with the psychological. It's amazing what you can convince someone to do for you when you push the right buttons.
Finishes his tea. Well, Mr. Mason, I do thank you for your time. It's been most enlightening.
I do have a quick question for you.
Of course.
With regards to the men investigating Derbyshire, I was curious. I feel bad for the Lord and losing Lawrence. That's just tragic. I really didn't like Lawrence, and he enjoyed my research at the universities and hospitals. I always appreciate when that happens, but do you know possibly where the Lord is residing? Is he still up in Derbyshire right now?
I imagine he will be, yes.
I must pay my condolences to him. Absolutely tragic. Lawrence was a wonderful young man. But again,
Yes.
Detective, if there's anything I can do for you, for your investigation, or any more information, feel free to ask. I am going to be leaving town just for a little while to go to Egypt, but upon my return, I can come back. And if I find anything that possibly could help with your investigation, I guarantee I will bring it to you.
Of course. I'm sure we'll be in touch, potentially, Mr. Mason.
Always a pleasure.
James Barrington leaves the cafe.
Okay. I'm going to. Oh, I don't have a ride.
I was thinking about that. I was thinking about that.
All right. I'm going to. Well, I'd like to write a letter.
Okay.
To what is Lawrence's dad's name again?
Arthur Vane.
Arthur Vane.
Arthur. Okay. I would like to write a letter to Arthur.
Yeah.
I'll
You know the address.
yeah, I'll make that letter up. I don't think we have time. I don't want to like drag us into another side shit shows. I was gonna try to meet up with Arthur.
Why?
I was
You're continuing.
I was gonna plead for Clyde's life because if we're constantly being hunted by the police,
So
then there's no.
you want to admit? You want to go to him and say, "Yeah, we did that crime. I'm sorry. Forgiveness, please."
No. I want to go and pin it all on Theo.
I think Theo kind of pinned it all on himself when he ran into the bedrooms with a shotgun and tried to kill people. Oh no, he didn't have the shotgun. But I
killed
think
people.
Theo was pretty effectively pinned it on himself because he's dead in their house.
Yeah, but if that was the case, they wouldn't be investigating us.
Well, I mean, yeah, we were associated, but I kind of think you said all that you needed to say. I actually think you did quite well in that interrogation. Well done.
I mildly disagree, but that's okay.
He
Well,
let
I
off
mean, I
with,
think you might
"I'm
have
not
shared a bit much,
involved
but
in
he
this
seems a nice
case,
fella.
but let me ask you about it anyway."
Oh no, like it would have been way more. It would have been way more suspicious had I just been like,
I don't.
"Peace
you-
out,
I
bitch."
think you gave too many details.
Yeah.
But that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
I mean,
better
do what
than
you
being
want.
suspicious.
It's your world.
Yeah.
He didn't arrest me, which is a good start. Because if he truly was concerned about me, he would have arrested me and he would have come to my house. I told him that 3 of you were staying at my house. I didn't tell him about Clyde, but I told him the other 3 of you were staying at my house. So the other thing that it also brings up, a good point here, is I'm assuming they have wanted posters and police at the boat crossing or like the boat loading
I don't know
area.
about posters. I think that's a little fast for like our time.
It
period.
was a lord's son and daughter that was just
That
killed.
is true. That is true.
It'll make the papers for sure.
But anyways, I'll bring that up in
Actually,
conversation. There's no point in talking about it now because it'd be just behind the scenes
One
stuff.
more thing, just so everyone knows, James Barrington, he's actually from one of the Scoop articles that we didn't get to for Egyptian murders in handouts.
That's interesting. What a twist. It's very twisty.
Very twisted.
All right. So, Richard, a few hours later, after presumably writing a letter and hailing a taxi,
Yep.
or maybe even taking the train, you probably took the train, then got a taxi back to your house.
Mhm.
You are now back with your comrades in arms at your building.
Richard, you're back. How did it go?
Well, good. I got the tickets. I returned everything, dropped off the patient. He'll be fine. He'll be dealt with. We have a interesting situation though. I ran into a. First off, everyone's got first class tickets. We're ready to go to Egypt.
Oh, you are so good at what you do, Richard.
out of the bottle. I come screaming in with a wooden boat in my hands.
Pip, how did you manage to do that? That bottle is way smaller than the boat.
I smashed it.
Oh.
Guys, watch. Richard's gonna have a dad moment. Shh.
Now, Pip, that was something very special to me.
Well, you got it closer.
Well, at least here's a dustpan. Can you go clean up the glass before you step in it or anyone else does? Okay, there you go.
That was me running away.
I
Back.
find that same book I was reading in Richard's library.
Oh, make a library use check.
There's a library use fucking.
Yep.
What the fuck?
It's very specific, yeah.
What the fuck?
Oh shit! I actually did it. I got a 19, which is that's just a normal success for me.
Yeah,
That's so
Richard
sick.
does not have any occult books in his library. Although you do have the several occult books that you purchased from Erica Carlisle in New York. Still in your possession. Perhaps one of those would be a suitable replacement.
Poor Clyde has to restart.
Aren't you glad you searched through the entire library when you had all of the first edition cult books just ready to go?
Come here.
Dude, that's
I'm here.
desperation. He's like, I started this. I want to finish it. I spent
Mhm.
so much time.
You could write it off as like smart investigating too. You could maybe say that like in case Clyde was suspicious of Richard, he was like, if he has any cult books, and the cult books are like how to burn a lamb, that's how you know.
I like that idea of like writing off your time like to yourself. Like, yeah, that was a good use of time. That was a good. No.
As long as you're satisfied with it, that's what matters.
Actually, later on in the day, you guys do receive the newspaper that Claude picked up on his walk back to the house from burning the car, presumably, and it does mention the murders of Eloise and Lawrence Vane, and how some of the murderers seem to have satanic literature in their possession.
Oh fuck.
Hey, dude, no, guys, this is totally fine, guys. We'll fit in really nicely with the cult later on. You know, Hail Hydra, that type of shit. We're in. We're in.
Does it mention Theo in it?
It mentions that one of the murderers was subdued by the Lord of the Manor.
Well, that fucking weirdo's dead.
Jared, we can't hear you.
Which brings me to my facts that I have to share. First off, I believe you guys mentioned, well, I know you've mentioned Jackson Elias. I was actually pulled aside at the ticket place by a Detective Barrington, who happened to have he did question me a bit about what happened in Derbyshire, but for the most part he was asking about Rosenberg and Jackson. He's investigating the murders that have been going on around here, not related to us.
Sorry. I like how you blended Rebecca and Schosenberg together to get Rosen.
Rosen.
I was like,
Damn it.
Rosen.
And it's also
Rosenberg.
it's Inspector James Barrington, not detective. He
Oh,
earned the role of
Inspector.
inspector, assuming it's
Sorry.
It is. I think it's slightly above detective in this case. I don't know if detective is like a rank in the British police in the 1920s, but he's an inspector.
Okay.
Yeah.
Schosenberg and Jackson Elias. He did question me about a few things that did happen up there, and did inform me that apparently they're searching for you, Clyde. I did not inform them that you were here, and he seemed to have believed me when I said that you were not in my humble abode. Seeing as no one else was under suspicion, I did use that to throw him off the scent, saying with some honesty, mixing some honesty with the lies, so that he did believe me and didn't just launch an investigation at our house, or my house per se. He was not too concerned about
Richard,
you guys.
surely you must have a dungeon that you can hide Clyde in if the coppers come, right? Like we can live up to the lie. Surely there's got to be like a bookshelf that you can, pull on a secret book and it opens a door and you can chuck Clyde in there if things go awry.
Jack, do I have a secret door in my house?
I feel like we've fleshed out your house pretty well at this point. I think if you had a secret basement dungeon, we would have talked about it at this point.
Okay. I do not have a secret basement dungeon.
What about the padded room?
Well, I don't.
Isn't that inaccessible?
It's accessible. Its current resident is now in the asylum in London. However, I mean, it bodes well for us. If they were to investigate, they'd see Clyde's locked in a padded room, which would show very well on ours. However, the fact that we did not call them when he was in my padded room would not look very good on us.
When
But I'm
does the
sure I
ship
could.
leave?
When does the ship leave, Jack? I never actually asked that one about the
So-
tickets.
I think that um, ships to Cairo between Port Said and London are really common. I think so. You can probably get on the ship within 2 days.
Okay. Within 2 days, we'll be able to leave. It's a
We'll
little
call it. Yeah, we'll call it Tuesday. Today's Sunday. We'll call it Tuesday, February 10th.
bit. By Tuesday, we should be able to board the ship. So unfortunately, we do have to stay somewhere for a while. If you're more comfortable, Clyde, leaving my residence, you can. I was actually thinking about going and pleading for your life to Mr. Arthur, or to Lord Arthur.
Why would you
Okay.
do that?
Because, quite frankly, we aren't going to be able to do a successful investigation with you wanted, and unfortunately, the lords of the land do have a little bit of pull in other parts of the world, not just London.
Yes, you would know that at this point, Egypt is a colony of England. So
Hmm.
there's a disconnect between Egypt and England. Like it's not like like a local lord in England can like have you arrested in Egypt, but they might be able to like pull some strings and possibly make things difficult for you potentially.
So, quite honestly, I'd rather try to deal with this situation before it gets out of hand. Not to mention, it would also clear up your name. I was gonna essentially. Would we have heard? Oh, we did hear it. We read in the newspaper that Theo would have been killed, right?
Yes.
Okay. I was essentially going to.
You also Barrington told you that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's right. I was gonna, quite frankly, blame it on Theo.
It's not a bad idea, Rich. It's a long shot, but it's not a terrible idea. That doesn't explain the satanic. You see right here in the newspaper, the plot about us. Satanic literature and idols, along with my unregistered firearm in the
Well,
city.
here's the thing. Your friend Jackson, as he already had told the doctor, he was interested in this kind of stuff. If it got brought up about your book, I was going to mention possibly that a friend had given it to you and you were just reading it out of curiosity.
Well, you could always say
Yeah.
we're investigating and need to familiarize ourselves with what we're looking for.
That would work as well. And then if all else fails, I will just say that you have mental issues, and I'm the doctor physician working with you. Either way, I will find a way to get your name cleared and do the best I can.
Yeah, like it's still a long shot. Like our best bet is just to leave. Like I understand that they might have some pull over in Egypt, but I don't think
Well, the thing
we'll have that much.
the thing here is it's going to be very tough to get on with these tickets I bought as a wanted person.
The thing is they probably don't have like his full name or anything like that, and setting up setting up boundaries to make it difficult for him to leave the country would be incredibly difficult in 1925.
Also,
They don't have the
like,
NSA
no
or
identification
TSA or
at all.
whatever.
Yeah.
Like I got
people-
nothing. I
Like people
never
would probably
get
check your passport at the as you're getting on the ship or getting into a new country. Like obviously you have to clear customs and stuff like that still, but they're just looking over your passports. Like everything seems in order here. They don't have a database to see if you have any warrants out for your arrest or anything.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There
fair
are
enough.
words on this paper. There you go.
Yep.
I mean, it's worth a try, but in the off chance they do, because they know me at least, and they know that I was with you at some point. If we get caught, it is possible to throw us all in jail for trying to leave and facilitating a murderer, not to mention a murderer of one of the Lord's daughters. Like I said, I still think our best bet, seeing as Egypt is a colony of Britain, that I don't think we can simply just go to Egypt and ignore what has happened here, because although not quite connected, I'm sure Arthur has his connections and could make our lives quite difficult in Egypt. And I think we don't need to have more difficult lives when we're dealing with a murderous cult.
I mean, Richard, this what you're suggesting just puts you in a lot of unnecessary risk. It's
What are you gonna say? You walk up, hey Arthur, how you doing? Yeah, he didn't do it.
Well, I wouldn't put it so vulgar,
I mean,
but I would explain the situation I would explain the situation surrounding Norm first off, in the fact that we had most of us basically killed on the ground by
now,
that werewolf.
Claude kind of speaks up. In theory, Richard, your mate Claude here could just skip the country and never come back to England. I mean, tough for the police to get him after that, right? Unless he comes back for some reason.
That's a good point. I would say it's probably safest if we distribute ourselves going onto the boat and just don't all go up as a group. But in the meantime, I don't quite know if they do come here, Clyde, I don't think we can defend you against the entirety of Scotland Yard.
Don't worry about it.
How many
We
days
just need
until
to
our
get
boat
out.
trip? Sorry.
Sorry?
How many days until our boat trip?
2 days
2
from now.
days.
2 days.
With them launching an investigation, I can guarantee you they're gonna send someone to
Well,
my house.
Don't we have to return the truck that we
Already
rented
did.
as well? Like, oh,
He did that today.
I'm just thinking, why doesn't Clyde just do a minor side quest for a few days? Leave the area, like actually go and be out of the mansion. So if they come to see us, they're just gonna have a nice chat with us, and then we just meet up with them at the boathouse, and then we just pawn Pip off on Clyde so that everyone's distracted by what a good dad he is. I mean, unless Richard can, back down from being the dominant daddy, but I just don't know if that's gonna happen.
Why did you phrase it like that?
You think you can do that, Richard?
I
Do you
fuck
think
with
you can
that.
let someone else be the dominant daddy for once?
Call me daddy.
We're a family
Are
now.
you-
I know you want to adopt everything, but I just want to know, like, is it okay if someone else is Pip's daddy?
his father's.
I mean-
what the fuck are you talking about?
I mean, I offered Pip a home.
I'm still cleaning glass. I would yell at you otherwise.
It isn't really my place, Harrison, to tell Pip to go be the son of Clyde for a day.
Does Pip have a passport? Can he just get on the ship?
Well, Pip's with me.
Well, that
He's
doesn't.
fine.
you
Well, so
can't-
that's the thing. That's exactly what I'm saying. It would be strategically advantageous for Clyde to take Pip so that, like no one's going to be like, oh my God, that's a murderous fugitive. If he's like, come on, son, let's go on our first
That's
boat
the
ride.
fugitive
But you're
kidnapping
like,
a
no,
child.
Pip goes with me. I will make sure that Pip goes on. That's you being the dominant daddy. And what I'm trying to figure out is this plan will only work if you can set aside your need to be the dominant daddy. And I just want to know if you can do that.
Now, I just want to point this out. No offense to Clyde, didn't come from a lot of money, and he's taking his son, who also looks like hasn't had any money in his life, on a first-class ticket to Egypt.
Okay, Richard, I think I know a way that we can compromise. Why don't
Nicely,
you
I
put
just
your
see.
arms around Clyde and you be Clyde's daddy, and it's like a family lineage vacation? I'm just
I'm
trying to come
40
up with a
I'm-
good story, man.
Why are we
Harrison,
discussing this?
Harrison, I'm 45 years old.
Before.
Oh. Sorry, pal. I just saw the gray hair, and I'm like, man, that's
I don't have gray
much.
hair.
That's what you think.
Okay, listen, you haven't drawn a portrait of yourself yet, so in my mind, you're
Jeez.
basically Einstein meets Bill Nye, the science guy.
You've never
okay.
asked anything about me.
I'll get Alana to make Richard a character portrait, so we don't have this problem anymore.
I mean, if Clyde again, if we spread ourselves out, we'll be fine getting on the boat. As for getting away for a while, Claude, do you know of any places Clyde could lay low that, any?
Let's just give him some supplies and send him out into the woods. He's a big
I mean,
guy.
we could do that. Yeah.
I grew up in the streets of New York. I don't know where the tree is.
We could put him up in the garage. You know, you have a garage separate from the main house where you keep some of your vehicles.
Nah, I think that's
I
too close.
I feel like it's risky seeing as the possibility that I mean I guess we could always say that he broke into my house. But
You were doing
if he
really well with making up good lies up to that point.
if he was to get caught, I could just argue for him to be released to me in custody as a psychosis patient.
I think he'd have to go on trial first, wouldn't he, Richard? He is accused of being a murderer. They'd have to find him criminally insane first. That could
This
take a
man
while.
is
You
mine.
know what? Let's just hire a lawyer and fight our way out of this with the truth, okay? Let's put Egypt off for a
Evan's
little
new
while.
character
Let's go to
is
court.
the
Let's get
lawyer.
their suits going.
He's gonna shoot the judge if he doesn't get his way.
No one's ever played Call of Cthulhu like this. It literally just opens on a courtroom drama. Client's like, you can't handle the truth.
Court case side mission.
Meanwhile, the cult is like completing their like goals, and you guys are like, we gotta bust our one idiot friend out of prison legally.
Years of law.
I mean, again,
by, and then the judge is about to pass verdict, and then the fucking Cthulhu comes out of the clouds and eats civilization.
Yeah.
Secret ending.
I mean, again, we could put him up in the house, but it is a risk, and it is the possibility the police come here, and I can't exactly say to the police, no, you can't search my house.
We could even send Clyde to sleep in some alley. It's only 2 days.
Of course he can, Richard. They need a warrant.
Why don't we send him into London for a couple days? Get him a room close to the port. Send him off
Good
to
idea.
Southampton early.
That's a good idea. You do like the city, Clyde, so I feel like it would fit you quite well. And seeing as you grew up in a quite rough area in the United States, I'm sure you'd be able to keep yourself hidden for those few days. Would you not agree?
Probably manage.
Does everyone? Are you okay with that? Are we okay in agreement with this?
Hey, whatever you gotta do, you know.
I think it's manageable.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, what do we want to do with these 2 days then?
Well, I could show you around my lab. I
No,
love to show people
no.
my lab.
So
Come screaming back in. A lab! Got
Yes.
a little dustpan with all the glass on it, like a little broom.
He's good at sweeping.
So, Clyde, there's no vehicles left here at the house. So, if you want to gather your things, Claude is going to take you to the train station to London.
You've been
on a
evicted,
motorcycle.
bitch! The
Or a
fuck out!
motorcycle? Is that
Get
what you
out of
said?
here!
Richard has a motorcycle.
You're not taking my motorcycle. I'm not having another vehicle of mine ruined by someone who drives
No.
into a tree.
No, Claude is offering to take Clyde on the back of the motorcycle.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
I think if I'm trying to keep a low profile, it probably wouldn't hurt to not take the train.
Would you want to take the motorcycle all the way to London?
Isn't that what you were suggesting?
Can you drive?
Were there gas
No,
stations?
not me. No, Cloud. Cloud.
Claude was going to take you to the train station closer to Richard's house. Then you were going to take the train into London or Southampton because the port is in Southampton. So you have
I
to.
feel like the train's pretty inconspicuous.
They were able to rob whole ass trains back in the day.
Mhm.
Get on the train.
All you need is a newspaper.
Mm-hmm.
So
And a bowler hat.
in the interest of saving time, if that's what we're going to do, Clyde, you are put on a train bound for Southampton. You're given your ticket in case you need to get on the boat without everyone else. You're able to rent a room for the next couple of days, and your time is yours to do as you see fit. You are welcome to take one of the occult books with you, or
Yep,
any other
that's
possessions.
right. I'm taking the Platonic manuscripts.
The Metonic manuscript.
Oh,
Okay.
He's gonna speed run one of these books. He's got like a day or two. Holy fuck.
Does Clyde masturbate during any of this?
Maybe.
He's too upset.
Roll luck.
Roll
Roll luck.
My luck is really good. You know what? I have 69 luck right now.
Nice.
Oh,
He's set.
I failed.
You try to masturbate Clyde, but you just end up playing harmonica instead.
That's the same thing.
Yeah.
You just said you did the same thing after.
All right. The rest of you, a few. So if you have nothing left to do on Sunday, we're going to cut straight to Monday. Monday,
Mondays.
Claude is actually able to go and get Richard's car back from the mechanics after it was quite damaged by Norman last week when he had his psychotic break. In the trunk of the car is Norman's double-barreled shotgun, which you guys are welcome to take with you if you want it.
I don't know about anybody else, but I wasn't able to get my weapons back, so I would love to call dibs on that shotgun. I will make that bitch
A
mine.
child
Basically-
with a shotgun's a good idea.
Yeah, basically no one was able to get their weapons back except Richard and Ruth,
Oh,
because Ruth's weapons were inconspicuous and Richard is a British citizen and has a firearms license.
And
In-
Pip had a
in the-
stick.
Yeah, exactly. And Pip was also never arrested.
yeah, but
That's true.
Theo's dead and Clyde's in London, so does it just fall to me by default?
Oh,
I
Does
want
it?
Are you
I don't-
gonna take it?
In all seriousness, Pip has no idea how to use any firearm, so he has no objection.
here's the other thing. What happened to Leon's weapons? Leon's rifle and shotgun.
I think it's sitting in the room.
Yeah,
It's sitting
I
in
think it's
Norm's
there.
room.
The shotgun is gone because Norman took it with him. So
Ah.
when Norman died and it was returned to you, it would have been confiscated as well, I think. The rifle, I think, is still with you.
Sniper rifle. But I can't. I'm no good with rifles and shotguns, so
I hate
I'm only
guns.
good with handguns.
I mean, how successful are we going to be trying to take those weapons on a boat trip with us?
You got them over from America to London, no problem.
Did you guys hear that? Russia is-
What?
Okay, well, yeah. I mean, let's take both of them.
All right. Also on Monday, two police officers do come to the house and ask Richard if they can look around.
By all means, officers, you can look around. Feel free. Would you have any specific area you'd need to look around in?
Just doing a sweep. Sure you understand. Just protocol given the recent events.
Yes, of course. I totally understand. If there's anything I can do, feel free to ask.
They give the grounds and your house a pretty good once over, but find no evidence of Clyde, and as such, leave.
Awesome. Perfect. See? I knew they were coming. I knew we had to deal with it. Whew. Jack, you were
So-
sitting on that one going, this is going to be a big decision if they don't get Clyde out of here.
Good
Could have
work.
been bad potentially.
He might.
yeah.
These random
So-
people investigating the same thing.
So the following day, the Tuesday, Claude takes you all into town on the limo. You go through London all the way to the port in Southampton with whatever possessions you bring along with you. With that, we are going to board the ship. Clyde is probably going to board a little bit after you guys, I imagine.
I'll disguise myself as well if need be.
Sure, you can make a disguise roll. I'm pretty sure you have skills in that.
Big fat fail.
Big fat fail. you don't really have anything to disguise yourself with in your luggage. You kind of have like one method of dressing yourself, and it's New York gangster.
Better than I thought. I thought he would like have one of those glasses with like the
Groucho
nose
Marx.
and
Yep.
Just, hello.
Hello,
I'm here.
everyone. I am lied. So, as last time we had a travel, you guys, I rolled to see how long it takes. The trip from London to Cairo can take anywhere between 4 to 12 days. I randomly rolled for it. It's going to take 12 days for you guys to get there.
Nice.
So you have a lot of time on the boat. As per last time, you can choose one skill that you're going to try and increase during this time. Or you can read a book, which I'm sure is what Clyde is going to do. And as usual, you can do wound recovery as you normally would with the passage of time.
I'm going to have a major wound.
Damn
So
it.
you have a major wound. You got the major wound when Lawrence smacked you, right? So you leave on February 10th, 1925. Lawrence smacked your ass on Saturday. So, let me get my trusty calendar here. Saturday, February 7th. So,
Is there like a ship doctor I could go see and hang out?
11.
Do I get to
12.
recover too?
So, who has a major wound right now?
Me.
I do not.
So, those of you who have major wounds, Jared, if you missed that, wait, did you have your headphones on?
Yeah, I had my headphones on.
So you heard all of that?
Yep.
Okay, excellent. So the trip is going to take 12 days. You both get 2 chances to remove your major wound on the Saturday. So make a constitution roll.
I want to be under or above it.
You want to succeed. You want to be under it this time.
I succeed.
You succeed.
Yeah, that was a regular success for me.
Okay, good. You both succeeded on your first attempt. It has been a full week since your major wound. On the 14th is when you would first get the chance. So, with the recovery of 1 hit point a day, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, would be February 22nd, which is when I believe you would disembark. You each regain 8 hit points.
8 hit points. Frick, yeah.
Nice, good for you guys.
Does that
And
mean that
any-
my major wound's gone?
Yes, and anybody who didn't have a major wound and was missing health, you also recover. You recover as many as 12 hit points.
It's a lot of hit points.
That is a lot of hit points. How do you? Is there ways to get the health back? Like,
what
is
do you-
there like so I don't think it's really many. I have 11 out of my 13 hit points back. Am I able to recover the other 2 somehow outside of like that, like a first aid or medicine check
not
or?
unless you enter into another combat scenario, in which case you're treated with first aid or medicine.
Oh, okay,
So you'll
Okay.
just have to wait the other 2 days.
sounds good.
I was just wondering if I had taken both the shotgun and the rifle along on the journey with me.
If you want to, you guys can take any weapons that you want.
Because if that's the case, I'd like to try and improve my rifle, shotgun, firearm skill.
A little bit difficult to do that on a boat.
I was wondering about that, like just in the bathroom, like.
I was gonna say maybe shooting bottles.
On some like transatlantic cruises, you can skeet shoot off the back of the deck. Probably not between London and Cairo, if I had to guess.
First class.
Yeah. Shit. Okay. I mean, I guess plan B is just to work on my fast talk a bit more because it would be nice if I wasn't bad
Okay.
at that.
Ruth, are you going to try and improve anything?
Can I try to improve my medicine by learning from Richard?
Sure. Yeah, you can do that.
One second.
Richard, are you going to improve anything?
Yeah, I think I'm gonna try to. I would like. Oh man, there's too many possibilities. Just out of curiosity, what's the potential for like what are we looking at for an upgrade if it does?
Roll 1d10 for whatever you choose to upgrade.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna try to upgrade my psychology.
Okay. You can spend some time to try and up that as well.
1d10.
Hey, 8. Nice.
You're welcome. I'm a good teacher.
Did I
Pip,
miss
you can
anything?
choose.
Sorry.
Yeah, you can choose one of your skills to try and improve while you're on the boat ride to Egypt.
I was gonna ask Richard, do you teach me anything?
I would like to teach. I would like to start teaching Pip about psychology while I'm upgrading my psychology.
Hell yeah.
Pip, you can increase your psychology skill by 1d10. Oh, I have
roll
to
a
roll that
d10
for
for
you.
me, Jack, please.
You increase your psychology skill by 3 points.
All right, that's not bad.
Clyde doesn't improve anything because he's reading his new book. The
Yes, I am.
Conic manuscript. Excellent. So,
Jack, can you do me a favor? Can you roll a d10 for me? I've either lost my dice or I've been rolling with a d12 this whole time.
how would you roll with a d12 this entire time?
Because I'm stupid. That's why. Like there's
Bro,
a dice
and
that
our-
looks like this. There's a dice that looks like this.
That's the
That's
D12.
a d12.
Yeah, and I've just recently discovered that there's a 12 on it, and so I can't remember if I was rolling this dice when I was doing my previous upgrades or if I had a d10 and it's just gone.
I
Roll
think
your
you were
d10. I
doing
got a
D10.
12.
I think you were doing a d10. You just lost
Well,
the
what the
d10
fuck?
probably.
You must have lost the d10 because I thought you meant you've been rolling like the entire campaign with a d12. I'm like, what?
Well, we don't use a d10 that often, and I thought about it before
We
presenting
do.
the idea.
We use
You use a D10 on every
for
roll.
everything.
Disadvantage me.
Everything in the system uses a d10. The
What?
entire system is
No.
percentile based.
No,
It's the
we do
D12.
all of our. Wait a sec.
The d12 is the one you never use. No one ever uses a d12 for anything.
So wait, so like we use a d10 as part of
count
you
this up.
doing a d100, don't we?
Yes.
Okay, so I rolled all my skill upgrades with a d12, but I didn't roll an 11 or a 12. So
Okay, that's
technically,
fine.
I just
That's fine.
disadvantaged myself. Oopsie poopsie.
Matt,
I
I'm pretty
literally
sure
had
you
a
were just.
third
I think
dice
you were
up.
just holding the D10 and D100. They're literally like two 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're two 4-sided.
Tens.
5.
Yeah.
So this is the d10, and I didn't use this when I was rolling my skill upgrades. I was rolling the d12, and I didn't know it.
Okay.
You killed Eric.
Okay. That's fine. That's fine.
Is it okay if I say I'm
Um,
sorry?
I forgive you. This is just
Thank you.
It's very kind.
learn from your
Do it again.
mistakes.
Okay, I'm gonna roll a d10 to upgrade my fast talk, though.
While that's
Get the head
happening,
out here right soon.
I'm going to. Yes, we're ending right now. I just want to pull up my PDF and take a look at how much longer Clyde has to go to unlock the secrets of the universe.
Long time, probably. Long time.
Probably a lot.
Because I had that other book for like 3 weeks, and I think I like barely pressed the halfway point.
You had just gotten to the halfway point, I think.
Rip.
Oh,
It's just getting good. Is this one like 87
Oh.
weeks?
so the book you had a 6-week study time. the Narcotic manuscripts has a 45-week study time.
What the fuck?
Do characters last that long?
Not normally.
That's
I know
Holy
other ones
shit.
that maybe read a different
It's what, 10 months of fucking just reading a goddamn book?
Yep. Well, in your spare
I'm gonna
time.
beat the shit out of that book. What the fuck?
No, Pip. We like books.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
Hey, how long is Life as a God?
Life as a God will take you
That's a
10
great
75 weeks.
biography name.
10 weeks. Okay. And amongst the stones?
is 1 week.
Oh, I'll start with that. I can finish that on the boat.
Lord.
Okay.
Just imagine like a stack of like different size books, and Clyde's like, the skinny one.
Yeah. Exactly.
Has the smallest print in it.
Yeah.
Fuck!
45 weeks later.
Then after I finish that one on the boat,
And
I'll
the-
move on to Life as a God.
The rule book justifies it as when you're doing it, you're like cross-referencing it with other material and like doing deep studies of like what they mean and like going through it like over and over again to like memorize the details and like really understand it.
Some
So
scholarship.
something like the Narcotic manuscripts, I think, are like a collection of a bunch of different books that are quite ancient. So it would take you a long time to cross-reference it. Whereas like the last book that Clyde had was a journal written by some dude, and like the one that only takes 1 week is just a collection of poems.
I aspire to have the same dedication in my life as the same that Clyde has for this one fucking book.
He was close, man.
I'm gonna read the short
If-
one first, and then
If,
we'll move on to the
if
big
his
one.
book hadn't been confiscated from him, he would almost be done. He would have just gained another 2 weeks towards its completion.
Pretty
On
heartbreaking.
it.
But I
Only you
really
didn't
wanted that
kill
book back.
Elaine.
I
Well,
think
have no regrets from that.
Eloise.
Eloise, I couldn't
Her
We're out
last
of London,
name
it's
was
over.
Elaine.
I don't
I
care.
guess it rhymes.
We
It doesn't rhyme.
Now the
Elaine
saddest
Vane?
thing.
Oh, I thought you were saying Elaine and Eloise rhymes, and I was like, that doesn't rhyme. What the fuck?
Oh, this playing Call of Cthulhu, I think, is giving me actual sanity loss.
Jack, learn anything from finishing the poems in my 2 week travel?
Yes, you can quite easily finish the book of poems and then start on the other one.
What lost more sanity, Call of Cthulhu or Overwatch?
I don't want
Overwatch.
to talk about it. I don't want to think about it.
I was thinking we should play Overwatch again.
No.
Just,
Wait till
Cuz.
Overwatch 2.
I just think we should give it another shot.
Wait
Yeah, like,
until
especially
tomorrow
for
when we
Overwatch.
play Arenas mode with Evan Matt in Apex, and then
Oh.
you'll see.
I also need to know: are you guys going to use the $1,800 that cost for the tickets? Or is that going to come out of the Penn Hugh Foundation, or not the Penn Hugh, the Jesse Hughes Fund?
Yeah.
What is the
for
Jesse
what other
Hughes
reason
Fund?
does it exist?
It's
See, when I said that last time, you were
so-
like, "It was out of your own free money pocket. You decided to do it."
So the campaign started when their friend Jackson Elias was murdered, who they adventured in Peru with. During their adventures in Peru, they all got a substantial amount of Mayan gold from a pyramid.
Okay.
So when Jackson died, he put all of his money, which he had gained through his career as a writer, novelist, and adventurer, towards the group to help them solve basically the conspiracy that he had been investigating. So it amounted to about $50,000 in total, which is a lot of fucking money in 1925. As of right now, they've only spent like $2,000. Now they've spent like $4,000.
Oh my god.
We can buy one of the houses in these
Woo!
expensive house tours
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah, but they
Yeah.
The money's controlled by Jackson's lawyer back in New York, so they have to like submit receipts to him to get reimbursed for it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
But
Yeah,
I'm
but I
keeping
don't
a
know.
running
I just
count.
think, like, for what reason other than travel does it exist, right? And I don't remember what the other thing that Richard asked about that we said no, but it was probably paying for a stupid donation that
Well, I
he
mean,
did
like-
to the.
No,
There's probably
I
a lot of
got
stuff you could apply it for. It's just a matter of actually
I,
doing that.
I got everyone access into the Penhue Foundation, and you guys were like, "Fuck you!" Like,
Also, you guys didn't want
What?
to use. You also didn't want to use the Hughes fund to repair his car, which Norman destroyed.
Okay.
That was the big thing.
Well, I
That
think
was the
Richard
meme,
probably
though.
stubbornly insisted that it didn't come from the fund, because I absolutely would have been like, "Hey,
no,
really almost
You-
limitless source of money. Let's use
no,
that."
no. You all
So-
came to. You all agreed that I wasn't getting any
Wait,
money to
it
help fix
wasn't-
my car.
That was to fix your car. It's not for adventure purposes.
But it was because
Um,
my car gave us adventures,
only
gave us
related.
access.
And also, it was the fault of the expedition that his car was ruined because Norman was a liability. We all loved the guy, but let's be honest, he was a fucking time bomb.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, I retroactively disagree with the decision to not offer to pay for the limo. I'd
Oh,
like to
I-
think that the
I
Heritage
don't
Lodge
regret it.
You
Yeah,
are
that was a great
at this
movie.
point you're 3 weeks too late. You guys are sailing as you're having this conversation. You can feel the warm Mediterranean air as you see many ships passing through the Mediterranean Sea, and you see palm trees on the horizon and sand dunes in the distance as you reach Port Said, which is sort of the most important port town in northern Egypt.
Considering
Just-
Pip's seen
I
only
was-
rain for 95% of his life, 100% of his life, he's absolutely awestruck right now. He's just like,
I was just thinking about that. Pip probably had like no idea such a place even existed.
What
Now he's just
So, you also the Jesse Hughes Fund went from $47,850 to $46,050 from the expenditure on the past week's travel.
oh no.
So, just a note.
I can invest some of it.
Yeah. Graydon, don't leave the call. We're going to end the
Dogecoin.
session, but I'm going to tell you what you gain from studying the book.
Cool.
And yeah, that'll do it for today. That was another exciting episode. One thing ends, another begins. And with that, we close the England chapter and open the Egypt chapter of the campaign. It's yeah, I was just thinking about it. Next month in June, it will mark the 1-year anniversary of the campaign.
Damn.
That's crazy.
It's weird.
That's insane.
That book was a year in the making almost.
Almost. Yep. You got that book probably back in September or October. You found it in Juju House.
Juju House.
Feels
That's
so
what I'm
long
gonna call
ago,
my
doesn't it?
house.
Oh, that's such a great episode, the Juju House episode.
My personal favorite is still fucking Norman killing Leon. Like,
yeah, that was funny too.
like sometimes I just go back and watch like that half-hour segment where Norman punches Leon in the back of the head and almost kills him, and then actually does kill him. But with that, we're going to call it for tonight. Thanks for joining us, everyone. As always, this has been Masters of Nyarlathotep. We have been enjoying this immensely, and we're going to see what happens next time. Maybe we'll meet Evan's new character.
Ooh.
So,
Madeline.
Me too.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah.